Well, little Timmy, how was your day?
Well, I woke up and I participated in the Nightfall and I got a level 300 Vanguard Ghost and it was awesome.
We all can't be winners, Timmy. So, what's quack-a-lackin' there, guys? How you doing? My name is Pone, and I have a confession to make. I'm really not happy with the Nightfall rewards. Yep, there's a shocker. And I'm pretty sure there's a large amount of the community that shares this concern with me, but we're kind of stuck at this really weird situation why it needs to be that way, but also why it needs to change, and I feel like the best way to make everybody happy and to benefit everyone equally is to introduce a hard/heroic mode for Nightfall. Very similar to how there's a normal raid and a hard raid. Whether or not there's double the loot or whatever remains to be seen. That's something they can debate on themselves, but I feel like there needs to be something to rival the activity and make the rewards worthy for people that are near in-game content. Because, let's face it, I stopped doing Nightfalls after week 2 or 3 because, at that point, what the hell's a 291 Gauntlet gonna do for me? Oh, by golly, I got 3 legendary marks for what is considered to be one of the hardest activities in the game, has so many different modifiers and challenges, and you can only do once per week, much like the raids. Except for, at this case, the loot's just not worth it. It's not reflective of the activity itself. So, how do you do this? And I felt like throwing in a hard Nightfall is the way to go. And you guys can share your opinions down below, but hear me out right here. I understand why there's a basic need for the Nightfalls. If I recall correctly, they're only like ranked level 280 light recommendation. So maybe they create a level 300 light recommendation, so they're a little harder for those that are near in-game content, and the rewards will match that challenge. They'll be a little bit more challenging, and I think that'd be really, really cool, to be fair, because if you look at it, and you're like me, when the hard raid came out, throughout the entire duration of it, across all of my characters, I only got a total of 2 or 3 320 items. I got a ghost, I got a chest piece, and I think that's it, actually. So even if the Nightfalls, which you can only do once per week, were capable of dropping between 310 and 320 and everything scaled the same way, then I would have 4 pieces total to 320 throughout those couple months that it was around. And that's still very slim. So up until challenge modes came out, I rarely got 320s. So I feel like putting up the legendary drops to a potential 310 to 320 for people, that wouldn't be too far of a stretch. It wouldn't mean that people would be 320 overnight. It wouldn't be challenging at all, because those would still be opportunities, and RNG is going to obviously do the things that he does, and getting 320 is not going to be as easy as you would think. And seeing as how challenge modes are, well, not very challenging at all, getting 320s are just a little bit easier now, so why not introduce something like that to Nightfall? Let's also just take a moment to remember the Sparrow Racing League. You never even had to fire so much as a bullet and you can get a 320 helm or class item. Is that not excessive? I mean, in a shooter game, you don't even have to shoot and you can get some high tier in-game loot from a racing event inside of a shooter game. That to me was pretty funny. But from something that's part of a weekly reset, something that you can only participate in once a week, is supposed to be considered one of the hardest things to do in the game, it can't drop anything like that? What is this? What is this? So changes need to come. They do need to happen. And like I said, I understand the need for some of those earlier things, the 290 stuff and the 300s and stuff like that. For new people playing the game, that's going to be useful. But a couple weeks in, after they've experienced it and they've done a few raids and played a couple Iron Banner matches or trials or something, they're already going to be above that, and they're not even going to need that anymore. So the majority of the community is past that level where these rewards mean a damn. I mean, I don't even need the exotics anymore, man. I've had all the exotics for months. I have no purpose. So basically, I get either shards, legendary marks, or strange coins. And if the only reason you do Nightfall is for strange coins that will hopefully evolve into 3 of coins that will eventually final form into a couple exotics in your pockets, then yes, there is something you need to do and readjust in your loot table, because if you're like me, you're probably in that same area where there's not really any thrill or reason to do it. This is a unique activity that you can only do once a week. There should be exclusive rewards for it, something special about it, and there isn't. There truly isn't. So I feel like something like a hard Nightfall is the way to spice up the life. That's how you do it. But I do want to say I appreciate the fact that they've added actual cosmetic things from the Eververse store into the kit. The fact that now emotes can drop or sparrows can drop, that's a really cool feature. I've gotten one of each of those, and it's a pretty badass addition, to be fair. But again, if you're like me this week, all I got were 3 legendaries that were below 300 light. And that's not the way to go. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great evening. If you support this, let Bungie know. Let me know down in the comment section. Do you think that adding a hard mode in would be really, really cool? Because I don't just want 310 to 320 gear easy. I would like the activity to scale too, so that it feels like, hell, I actually earned that gear. That's just me though. let me know. Take care, guys. Have a great evening.